The Cougars of Washington State 79-41. The Wildcats were led by Anthony Cook's 15 points. And finally, two unranked teams experienced an emotional roller coaster as the final seconds ticked off the clock in Jersey City, New Jersey on Wednesday. In an MAAC conference playoff game, Fairfield's Harold Brantley hit a layup, giving the Stags a 1-point advantage over St. Peter's with just seconds left. Fairfield's coach, Mitch Bonaguro, thought his team pulled off the upset and ran onto the court to celebrate. Unfortunately, there were 2 seconds left, and the officials ruled it technical. Fate intervened further as St. Pete's Harold Brantley hit 2 free throws to give the win to the Peacocks. An upset Fairfield coach was still in a bit of shock.
Well, it was a tough call, and, it came at a time where it was just incredible. It just took us from winning the game to losing it, and, you don't mind losing when another team makes a shot or makes a free throw or whatever, but, to lose the game on a really just an emotional thing that I did, it's kind of a tough thing to take.
It's a tough way to go. There's a couple of things you can count on in the next few days. You're going to hear the term on the bubble an awful lot. Some obscure team is going to pull off a major conference tournament upset and earn an automatic berth, no matter how lousy they were in the regular season. And some school is going to cry, "We were robbed," when they are left out of the final 64 draw. Bob Lee and Dick Vitale have a handle on the entire scenario.
Next Sunday, the bids go out. There are many question marks. Let's visit now with the man who refuses to leave your living room through the winter, Dick Vitale. Hello, Dick. Let's talk about teams on the bubble. You live in a bubble during the season. There are a lot of teams who you might think ordinarily would get bids that have got to tread lightly and play well this coming week.
I think so, Bob. I think you look at the Big East, for example. Seton Hall has come on, and I think they're going to definitely be in a tournament, and deservedly so. But what about St. John's and Villanova? I think they might need a few more W's, because right now they could be on the bubble. You go out, for example, to the Pac-10. What about Stanford? What about Oregon State? They would be on a bubble. LSU, Auburn in the Southeastern Conference would be on a bubble. I look for the Big Ten to get 5 teams into the tournament. I think there's no doubt in my mind they have 5 of the best 64 teams in America. You talk about the conference out there in the WAC, one of the most underrated conferences in the nation. Certainly a lock will be BYU and also Wyoming. Texas El Paso loses their big scorer, blocker, and also they can be in trouble, as well as Utah and New Mexico.
There's a bizarre scenario unfolding with North Carolina. Oklahoma losing on ESPN to Missouri. That might have cost the Sooners the top regional bid in one of the regions, possibly the West. Who knows? Carolina might get it. So Carolina's got a route, possibly, wouldn't you think, to stay at home as the 2 Eastern seed and play in the Dean Dome?
Hey, Bob, I think they'll be in the Dean Dome in the sub-regional. I really do, and be a number 2 seed to Temple. However, you make a good point, because if Oklahoma were to have a disastrous Big 8 tournament and get exited immediately, they could be knocked out, and Carolina, if they were to win the ACC tournament, could go in as one of the top 4 teams. Now the question is, would they make them a number 1 seed in the East to move Temple out to keep them in Chapel Hill? I've said from day one, and I'll repeat it again, the Notre Dames, the North Carolinas should not have the advantage in postseason tournament time to play on their court.
Get off the soapbox. Question about Arizona now. Was the number 1 team for a long stretch, number 3 right now in the country. Are they going to be tournament tested, having played basically against the Pac-10 come calendar year '88? Are they ready for the NCAA tournament, 3rd, 4th round opponents?
I don't think that's a problem. I know everyone out there is anticipating that to be a dilemma, and I'll tell you why it's not a problem. Number 1, they know after beating the likes of Syracuse and Michigan and Iowa, especially away from Tucson, they know they can win against the big people. So they have that confident factor. They also have the experience, and they have just tremendous team concept and a great coach in Lute Olson. I don't think that'll be a dilemma at all. I think they'll be razor sharp at tournament time. I'm just a big fan of that Arizona team. I really love the way they play.
This has been the most unpredictable of seasons, and Arnie Ferrin and his committee, they've got a tough enough job to begin with. Let me toss another thing on their collective shoulders. They've got maybe some coaches' jobs in their hands. Guys like Don DeVoe, whether he gets a bid or not, that could determine whether he's back next year.
Well, it shouldn't determine it. I
But it
can't
might,
understand.
but it might.
Yeah, well, you're right, Bob, but I don't understand the mentality of some of the boosters and some of these programs. Unless you win it all and unless you're in a big run. I mean, here's a Don DeVoe at Tennessee. He doesn't have the great personnel. They're in a tremendous conference, a conference that's so tough that Kentucky, for example, has all their losses in the conference. Out of the conference, they're undefeated. But they beat Kentucky. They've beaten the likes of Florida. I say the Don DeVoes, the Bob Weltlicks, the P.J. Carlissimos, these schools should be happy to have guys like them. But because of the mentality that exists out there, where they fire coaches so quickly, then they wonder why some of the problems exist in collegiate athletics. I just can't understand the sanity involved there.
Well, there's going to be some insanity. It starts on Thursday. We'll look for you coming into the studio. See you then, Dick.
I can't wait to get in touch with you. You're doing a great job all year, and I mean that from my heart.
Thanks, Dick. Appreciate it. It all happens when the bids come out on March 13th. And then, of course, Dick and I here in the studio, John Saunders as well, as we wrap up the first round coverage. Championship week is upon us. And, of course, everything we just talked about depends upon how many surprises there are in the conference tournaments. It is a page and a table full of wild cards, and they begin dealing them out this week.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Dick. We look forward to your insight during the next week, and we're going to need it. Still ahead, after 16 days in Calgary, the Olympians return home. What are they doing now? We'll update their progress. And what about the Winter Olympics in the U.S.? We'll look ahead to 1994. But first, a review of the College Basketball Scoreboard. It's tournament time, so be prepared to be slam dunked on college hoop before this month is out.
Crazy Calls, a tape of 7 different songs and funny recordings for answering machines.
I am very sorry that I'm not at home to take your call.
Only $14.95.
When I will get right back to you. Leave your message. Leave your message at the tone.
Give someone the gift of Gad for their answering machine.
What you've actually done is bought a one-way ticket to the answering machine zone.
Nobody's home. Nobody's home. I'm glad you called, but I'm not home. But I'll be back before too long. You gotta
Crazy Calls, a tape of 7 different songs and funny recordings for only $14.95.
Wait for the beat. You gotta leave your name. You gotta leave your number.
To order?
Wait for the beat.
Call 1-800-554-9000. Call 1-800-554-9000. The sights, the sounds, the unforgettable performances. Warm up for all the day's action with Game Day. Every Saturday and Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN.
The Olympic flame has been snuffed out. The Olympic Village is quiet. The athletes are busy going about their life after the games. What a strange transition it must be. Work all your lifetime for one shot at the gold. Then when it's over, perhaps a barren feeling, wondering what's next. Well, for some who achieved their dream, why not enjoy it?
I'm going to Disneyland.
Before going to Disneyland, Brian Boitano returned to San Francisco on Tuesday to receive a hero's welcome.
I've never felt so much support in my whole life. In Canada, it's different for me as an American, and to come back to America to feel the support. In the Olympic Village, you're very secluded, and you don't really know what's going on in America because you're with the other athletes so secluded. And to be back in America and feel the support is great.
Speed skating gold medalist Bonnie Blair has already capitalized on her success at the Olympics. Her picture can be seen representing a major watch company. As for the members of the USA hockey team, Brian Leetch was already playing for the New York Rangers. Kevin Stevens scored a goal in his first NHL game with the Pittsburgh Penguins. What a way to start. And defenseman Jeff Norton has helped the Islanders fill a major void in their back line. As for other hockey players, you just saw Leetch, Stevens, and Norton. Todd Okerlund is with the Islanders. He began this week. Craig Jenney is with the Boston Bruins. He debuted Thursday versus Toronto. Stephen Leetch is with the Washington Capitals. Guy Gosselin is with the Winnipeg Jets. And Scott Young is playing with the Hartford Whalers. We already know the 1992 Winter Games will be in Albertville, France. Anchorage, Alaska wants the 1994 games badly, and they did just about all they could to try and make it happen. Dave Patrick reports on the Anchorage Committee's activities during the games of Calgary.
As Calgary put the finishing touches on its welcome to the world, nearly 50 Alaskans plotted strategy in nearby hotel rooms in a bid to win the Winter Games to be played 6 years from now. The Anchorage Organizing Committee is a more savvy group. You learn by losing. Anchorage first went after the 1992 Winter Olympics, winning only 5 of 84 votes of the International Olympic Committee. It was a lesson in presentation and politics. So the Anchorage delegates combined both in Calgary, using shuttle diplomacy. More than 15 IOC members took the 3.5-hour flight on corporate jets to Anchorage over the 16 days of the Olympics. They say timing is everything, and it was working for the AOC. Unlike Calgary, Anchorage is having a real winter with real snow.
In contrast to Calgary, where the streets were virtually bare and the temperatures hovering in the mid-30s and high 40s for the middle part of the games, they were able to come up here and experience winter right in the heart of our Rendezvous celebration.
Sled dog races down Main Street, Anchorage, Cap Fur Rendezvous, a winter celebration of the days when fur trappers came to town to sell and trade their pelts. The Anchorage bid boasts of Alaska's largest city as a modern frontier town at the crossroads of the world. Back in Calgary, the lobbying effort was hitting some rough spots.
I am not saying that we should admit terrorists.
During the Winter Games, the news broke that the State Department refused to let North Korean speed skaters into the U.S. Anchorage became a convenient target for whatever international indignation the North Koreans could provoke.
Given the fact that this has happened
and
twice...
a few of the 4,500 members of the press corps in Calgary found the Anchorage lobbying effort overzealous. But Anchorage's biggest obstacle to winning these games is its competition. It's said to be a two-town race, Anchorage, Alaska, and Sofia, Bulgaria, the acknowledged leader.
We know that if one were to predict right now, certainly the fact that Sofia got 26 votes in Lausanne has to give them perhaps a leader's position. But we look at this as the last leg of a relay, and we're right where we want to be. We're right on the shoulder of Sofia and ready to sprint.
And while Anchorage salutes its North American neighbors, the city may also learn a lesson in persistence. After all, it took Calgary more than 30 years to win its 16 days of glory. I'm Dave Patrick for This Week in Sports.
Always political, always high stakes, always tenuous, the bids for the games. Just ahead, a look at the squad many have considered the best hockey team in college this year. And it's time for them to prove it.
We go above and beyond just like you. Above and beyond what we have to do.
I'm a Prudential representative. When I talk to people about CDs and mutual funds, they're surprised at the wide range of investment opportunities I can offer.
You work hard, so do we, to make what you work for a reality. The Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
Users of nasal sprays invariably encounter the same problem.
Morning, boys.
Sprays that roll out of their nose or drip back into their throat. To avoid this, they'll do just about anything. But now there's new Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine doesn't roll out or drip back. It goes up and stays up, and that makes it better. So try new Sinex Ultrafine Mist. It goes up and stays up. From Vicks, of course.
Well, we're doing our best to keep up with the scramble for the Final 64 in college basketball. Division I hockey is narrowing down its field to its version of the Final Four. That will be at Lake Placid, New York, a little over a week from now. The top team going in is Maine. As Dale Duff reports, this hockey team is finally getting some respect in Orono.
For years, baseball has been the big hit at the University of Maine. From weeks and weeks of practice inside to 5 College World Series appearances in the 1980s. But this year, something new at the top of the lineup in Black Bear Land, hockey. Maine has the #1 team in the land, and fans are going wild. The rise in national prominence began 4 years ago when Sean Walsh was hired as the new coach. At age 29, the youngest Division I hockey coach in the country.
Overall goal I've got is to develop respect on a consistent basis throughout Division I hockey in 3 to 4 years for the University of Maine. Well, it's like a dream come true. You never think it's going to happen this quick, and you don't.
4 years later, Walsh has a little more gray around the edges, but also national recognition.
I'm very fortunate personally to have learned under a great coach with Ron Mason at Michigan State, and we've tried to do a lot of the same basic things, and we've had great success recruiting.
The recruiting trail took him to British Columbia for some players and to Rhode Island for the Capuano brothers, Jack and Dave. Between them, 121 points this year.
It's a great feeling, and it's great for all the guys and our fans because everyone's stuck together. And no one had ever had doubts on this team, and the fans, even when we were losing, held behind us all the way.
Certainly number 10, Mike McHugh, knows life before and after success. 4 years ago, he was a walk-on player. Now, he's an All-American candidate.
You definitely have to remember what it was like to lose. I think that helps you out a lot. And we worked hard in those games that we lost, and I think that gave us that desire to win.
Getting a ticket for a Maine game is a tough chore. Finding a seat even tougher. Maine leads Hockey East in attendance.
It's almost magical when you walk in this arena for a game. I've been in a lot of rinks. I've been in a lot of football stadiums in the Big Ten. I've watched a lot of college basketball and been part of it. I haven't been in too many environments that are as conducive to excitement as this place is.
And as postseason play begins, the rich get richer. Olympic defenseman Eric Weinrich has returned to school.
Felt really good to be back with all the guys.
Many hockey experts say Maine is a good bet for the Final Four.
I always like to be a person that gets one step further than he did the year before. Last year we got to the NCAA Final 8, and this year I'd like to really get to the Final Four, and after that let the chips fall as they may.
In Orono, Maine, Dale Duff for This Week in Sports.
Maine begins tournament play Tuesday night in Orono. Its opponent will be Providence, winner last night in tournament play. Right now, let's take a look at last night's Division I tournament results. Just ahead, we'll cast our sights ahead to the National Hockey League, where 5 of 21 teams won't make it to postseason. We'll check up with Tom Mees for more insight in just a moment.
Do you know how to work a golf ball? How to slice around a tree or poke on a dog leg left? Hi, I'm Tom Watson. I recently wrote an article about that in Golf Digest, the magazine that completely covers the game. Shots, strategy, equipment, people. It's all in Golf Digest. If you're looking for new clubs, a better ball, Golf Digest delivers. Top playing professionals Nicklaus, Kite, Langer, teachers like Toski and Flick take you shot for shot from the driver through the putter. If anything can take strokes off your handicap, it's Golf Digest. It also tells you about the personalities that make the game so great. Sound good? Now here's how you can get Golf Digest.
Call toll-free 800-622-3488 for a year of Golf Digest, only $12.77, 46% off the newsstand price, and you'll receive as a bonus tips from the tour, free. Call 800-622-3488 now.
Be a winner. Read Golf Digest.
ESPN stands out above the rest when it comes to postseason college basketball excitement. You'll see 8 days of live coverage from 20 conference tournaments, including the ACC, Pac-10, and WAC. Then 2 days of round-the-clock, anything-can-happen action from the greatest event of the year, the NCAA tournament. Only one place captures all the color and excitement of college basketball. ESPN.
The bad blood between the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames continued to boil. 206 minutes and penalties were handed out in Calgary last night. 6 game misconducts and 3 10-minute misconducts. But forget that. Let's show the action. Nothing, first period. Brad McCrimmon shoots. Fuhrer makes a save, but John Tonelli puts in the rebound. Flames up 1-0. Flames 2-1 in the second. Shane Sherler shoots wide, but Joe Duendijk, watch him come in. Puts it in there. Calgary up 3-1. Third period. Calgary up 4-2. Wayne Gretzky in the corner. Watch this pass to Craig Simpson. He scores. Flames up 4-3. Still 4-3. And Hakan Lube drops the puck for Gary Suter. His slap shot scores. Flames go up 5-3. They hold on to win 7-4. Flames now lead the Smythe by 3 points. Detroit and St. Louis tied 4-4. Bernie Perdoco, 2 goals and assists for the Blues. St. Louis winless in this last 4. Blues 11 points behind first place Detroit and the Norris. New Jersey by 1 over Boston. The Islanders in Pittsburgh. The Penguins scored 5 goals in the third. Hartford over the Rangers. The Rangers still up by 1 point over Pittsburgh and New Jersey for the final Patrick playoff spot. Winnipeg absolutely destroying Toronto. Jets' Paul McLean's second hat trick of the season. Dale Harochuk went also wild. 2 goals and 4 assists. Chicago over Minnesota 4-2. And in overtime, it was Montreal over L.A. 8 straight Canadiens win. Stephane Richer, a hat trick for Montreal. A typical week for Wayne Gretzky as he eclipses one of the all-time great records. A very devastating week for the Detroit Red Wings as their all-star captain goes down for 88. And the Olympic flame is out, so the Calgary Flames were back in. They're home this week in hockey. Milestones and mishaps this week in the NHL. On Tuesday, Wayne Gretzky got his record-breaking 1,050th career assist. The great one passed Gordie Howe's record set in 1980. The long-awaited assist came at 12:44 of the opening period when Gretzky fed Jari Kurri for the goal. The milestone comes in his 9th season. It took Howe 26 seasons to set his mark. Tuesday also saw Red Wings captain Steve Yzerman score his 50th goal of the season just before leaving the game with a knee injury. Yzerman slid into the goalpost while trying to skate around Sabres defenseman Carly Johansson. Yzerman was in obvious pain for several minutes before being helped off the ice. The latest on the Red Wings center was he tore his right knee ligament, but the injury would not require surgery. By the way, the Red Wings beat the Sabres 4-0. On Wednesday, the New York Rangers, shooting to become the most productive power play team in NHL history, scored goals of that variety, defeating metropolitan rivals, the New York Islanders, 3-1. Tomas Sandstrom scored his 23rd, Kelly Kissio scored his 20th, and James Patrick scored his 14th to give the Rangers 94 power play goals, just 5 short of the mark set by the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1982. It was also Dennis Potvin's last regular season appearance at Madison Square Garden. On Thursday, after 1 month and 11 road games, the Calgary Flames returned home, happy to find that the Olympics were no longer in town, and over 19,000 fans were there to welcome their first-place club. The Flames burped the Philadelphia Flyers 6-3 behind Hakan Lube's 4 goals. The victory ended the Flyers' 5-game winning streak and gave Calgary a 3-point lead over Edmonton. And by the way, the Rangers are now 1 goal shy of the power play record. They got number 98 in their 3-1 loss to Hartford last night. 1 month to go. That's what's left in the scramble for playoff positions, the scramble for home ice, and other seedings in the playoff picture. Tom Mees runs down how it looks from here on in.
The hockey season has just 4 short weeks to go before the real season, the Stanley Cup playoffs, get started. Until then, we have 27 days to watch as some teams battle for division championships and everybody else scrambles to avoid the indignity of missing the cut for postseason play. First, the serious contenders. The 4 best teams in the league are fighting for first place in 2 of the 4 divisions. The best race is out west in the Smythe, where the Calgary Flames are trying to smoke the defending Cup champion Edmonton Oilers out of first place for the first season in 7 years. Going into the weekend, the Flames had the momentum and the 3-point advantage. Back east in the Adams division, the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins, who were NHL's arch rivals before the province of Alberta ever heard of artificial ice, well, they're at it again. The Canadiens took a 3-point lead into the weekend, but circle March 31st on your calendar. That's when the Habs visit the Boston Garden for the last time this regular season. The Norris and Patrick divisions have the smallest and largest crowds at the top. It's all over but the pizza party in the Norris, where the Detroit Red Wings are comfortably in front of the St. Louis Blues and figure to stay there despite the season-ending injury to captain and high scorer Steve Yzerman. Meanwhile, 3 teams, the Flyers, Capitals, and Islanders, all have a shot at the driver's seat in the Patrick. Philadelphia was at the wheel when the weekend started, and a pennant would be its 4th in a row. That takes care of the contenders. Now, the pretenders. As of yet, no team has played itself into an early summer vacation, although Campbell Conference strugglers Vancouver and Minnesota seem determined to do so in the near future. Remember, only the first 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. In the Smythe, the Canucks trail the Los Angeles Kings. This could change next week when they play each other twice in 3 days, but don't count on it. In the Norris division, the Toronto Maple Leafs have been horrible this year, really bad. Luckily, Minnesota has been worse. Luckily, that is, for the Leafs. A lot of injuries to be sure, but Minnesota is worse. How bad are the North Stars? Or should I say, no stars? The Leafs won the season series 4 wins and 3 ties in 8 games. The battles to escape elimination are much closer in the Wales Conference. In the Adams division, the Hartford Whalers are in danger of falling from first to last in 1 season. To make matters worse, their competition for 4th place is the Quebec Nordiques, a very tough team for the Whalers. This week is a big one. They play each other on Tuesday and again on Sunday. And finally, in the Patrick division, another 3-way free-for-all between the resurgent New York Rangers, the fading New Jersey Devils, and the mystifying Pittsburgh Penguins. The Rangers have the lead, the Pens have Mario Lemieux and Paul Coffey, and the Devils have 2 games against each of those teams. Stay tuned. I'm Tom Mees for This Week in Sports.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Just ahead, the National Basketball Association, where the Boston Celtics were sputtering, but the Dallas Mavs were in high gear. And the New Jersey Nets trying to find some spark with a new man at the wheel, all-time great Willis Reed.
Now that we're a family, some things have become a lot more important to us. When we had our home insulated, we were concerned about our heating and cooling bills, but we were more concerned about fire safety. So, we selected CertainTeed InsulSafe 3. InsulSafe is non-combustible, thermally efficient fiberglass insulation. Sure, saving energy is important to us, but insulating safely is what InsulSafe is all about.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me. There's no place that I'd rather be. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Beer.
If you've always felt that driving a car should be more than simply a way of getting from one place to another, we have a suggestion we'd like to run by you.
The New Jersey Nets, under new coach Willis Reed, managed to do something Saturday they had not been able to do all year. They have now won more than 2 straight games. The Knicks were visiting. Let's take a look. New Jersey jumped out to an early lead. Bad pass by Mark Jackson. Otis Birdsong with a super behind the back to Dudley Bradley for the slam. Nets led by 6 after 1. Later on, Birdsong also showed he can score. On the break, Birdsong rolls one in. He scored 18. Patrick Ewing helped keep the Knicks close. Low post, Ewing turned around. Jay, he had 22. But in the second half, Knicks stayed in control. Chris Engler with a cross-court pass to Roy Henson. And Willis Reed is 3-0 with the Nets. He beats his former team 94-85.
I think it's a big win for us in terms that it evened the series. We won all three here. They won all three in New York. So at this point, we still have a debate about who's better because they got more wins. But if we had had everybody healthy, maybe not.
We know that Willis has a great presence and he has a lot of things to teach us. I'm just going to be an eager student and try to learn as much as I possibly can from a guy that's done a lot of great things in the game and can give me a lot of his knowledge.
3-0 for Willis Reed. Milwaukee over Atlanta, the 8th victory in the last 10 games for the Bucks. Atlanta is 2.5 behind Detroit. Detroit losing to Washington. Pistons 6-game winning streak over. Chicago over the lowly Clippers. Clippers 22 straight road losses now. Sacramento losing to Houston. The Kings have lost 9 of their last 10. San Antonio losing to Utah. Karl Malone had 38 for the Jazz. And it was Portland over Golden State. Clyde Drexler 29 for Portland. And Denver over Seattle. The Nuggets have lost 3 straight. No, have won 3 straight, excuse me. Now, we know things have been tough at times for the Boston Celtics, but who would have believed the Nets could win on the parquet floor? Keep this up, and Coach Willis Reed will be a late entry for Coach of the Year. The Dallas Mavs are pushing for Team of the Year. The Celtics have not had a good week. Let's begin at the Silverdome on Sunday. This was a battle of the 2 teams with the best records in the NBA Eastern Conference. But it was Dennis Rodman's 6 of 17 points down the stretch and Adrian Dantley's 19 that pushed the Pistons past the Celtics 106-101. 7 Pistons fired double figures and solidified their lead in the Central Division. As for the Celtics, more on them later. On Monday, a buzzer beater kept an attentive Philadelphia crowd glued to their seats. With 59 seconds on the clock, Michael Jordan's free throw put the Bulls ahead by 1. But after each team missed a couple of scoring opportunities, it was Gerald Henderson taking the inbounds pass from Cliff Robinson and driving for the layup. The Sixers beat the Bulls 102-101. Also on Monday, the New Jersey Nets made their second coaching change of the season. As expected, Hall of Famer and former New York Knicks All-Star Willis Reed was named to the post. Most recently, Reed was an assistant to Bill Russell with the Sacramento Kings.
Things that I've learned, the jobs where I've been through St. John, Creighton University, Atlanta, Sacramento, are the things that gave me a chance to become the Knicks coach. And they've gotten a much more experienced person in terms of basketball than the Knicks had in 1977.
The following night, Reed made a victorious debut in New Jersey, and with the help of Otis Birdsong's 18 points, the Nets rout the LA Clippers 104-75. Also on Tuesday, the 2 top teams in the Central Division met at the Omni in Atlanta. Despite a 50-point performance by Dominique Wilkins, Joe Dumars' 25 points led the Pistons past the Hawks. The final, 117-114. Up in the Northwest, the Sonics and Dale Ellis's 26 points snapped the Lakers' 10-game winning streak with a 114-100 victory. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was 1 for 7 from the field and scored only 2 points in 24 minutes, equaling the lowest output of his 19-year career. On Tuesday night, the Celtics' problems continued. Sidney Moncrief scored 12 of his 20 points in the fourth quarter, rallying the Milwaukee Bucks over the Celtics. Boston did overcome an 18-point deficit and came within 1 on a pair of free throws by Danny Ainge. But Larry Bird's off-balance jumper from inside the lane hit the rim at the buzzer. The Bucks win it 117-116. This brings us to the highly partisan Boston Garden on Wednesday night, where the Celtics greeted Willis Reed's new and improved New Jersey Nets. Roy Henson proved just how improved by hitting 11 of his 21 points in the third quarter to lift New Jersey over Boston 117-107. New Jersey forward Buck Williams was forced to leave in the first quarter after straining his right hamstring in a collision with Larry Bird. The Wednesday night victory improved the Nets' road record to 2-25 and gave Boston their 3rd loss in a row. While the Celtics were sliding, the Dallas Mavericks had a firm grip. The Mavs extended their club record winning streak to 11 games on Friday. Versus Houston, Derek Harper had 27 points, 14 in the third period. The Rockets fall 118-110. The Mavericks led the Midwest by 6.5 games. Just how tough are the Knicks at home? Well, the fists were flying against Philadelphia. Patrick Ewing was tossed out of the game after tossing a punch toward Mike Jaminski. Charles Barkley was knocked out when he was hit in the head while fouling Bill Cartwright. Barkley had to be taken out of the game. Mark Jackson hit a bank shot with 2 seconds left on the clock to put it into overtime. Jackson then hit for 5 consecutive points in OT to give the Knicks their 11th straight victory at home. The final 110-108. And just ahead, time to put the 3-year-olds into the starting gates and see who's the early favorite for the Kentucky Derby. We have the story from the Florida Derby when This Week in Sports continues.
How smart a shopper are you? Be honest. How do you know which TV to buy, which microwave, which refrigerator, when you're faced with all the different models and different prices?
I find this very confusing to shop. Very frustrating.
Confusing.
I know nothing about stereos that I'm supposed to buy today.
Cut through the confusion before you go shopping. Call this toll-free number for Consumer Reports' 1988 Buying Guide issue. It's yours free with your paid subscription to Consumer Reports, the magazine smart consumers turn to, whether they're shopping for a new car or a new phone.
I wish I'd have had this before I bought one of my other phones, because I wouldn't have bought it.
Call to get 12 monthly issues, including our latest product reports and the year-end Buying Guide issue when published, plus the 1988 Buying Guide issue and the Medicine Show, free with your paid subscription, all for just $18.
It's one of the very few objective sources of information you can get.
Call 1-800-544-1000.
People react to a Sports Illustrated sneak preview.
And the pops these guys were taking. I mean, you could almost feel yourself going, ooh. I mean, and feel your stomach contracting because you knew you were going to be hit.
They just saw a hilarious new video cassette offered by Sports Illustrated. The all-new NFL Football Follies, hosted by Jonathan Winters. It's 45 minutes packed with the kind of follies you love, and you get it free.
I get it free? Come on.
You get the all-new Football Follies free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Call this toll-free number and get 25 weeks of America's best sports coverage, including the baseball preview, the swimsuit issue.
That's the icing on the cake.
And the 300-page Winter Olympic preview. You even get the SI Olympic pin set. All for 3 monthly installments of $9.89 each. Even put it on a credit card. You'll save over 47% off the cover price and get the Football Follies free. Call 1-800-284-6200.
I like everything. I think you should call. Okay.
In horse racing, the first major test for 3-year-olds Saturday, the Florida Derby. Brian's Time, a 3-to-1 long shot, was strong in the stretch to nip the favorite 49er. Dave Johnson has the call.
Midway on the turn, 3/4 in 110 and 4. And 49er continues to show the way by a length and a quarter. Notebook on the inside, a second ahead. Cherokee Colony gaining, inching up on the outside, a closer third as the field straightens away in the stretch. 3/16 of a mile to go. 49er at the rail, trained by Woody Stevens. Eddie Maple aboard, asking for more. But out in the middle of the track, here comes Brian's Time, roaring up to contention. Brian's Time with a late burst of speed. Randy Romero aboard. Here they come to the wire. It's going to be one of these two. Brian's Time on the outside. 49er at the rail. Wow, what a finish in the Florida Derby.
Brian's Time, a 32-to-1 long shot, was more than 3 seconds off the track record. 49er, the 2-year-old champion, loses by a length. The Notebook was 3 lengths back in third. Meanwhile, the last 2 Kentucky Derby winners, Ferdinand and Ali Shiva, will meet this afternoon in the $1 million Santa Anita Handicap. These two met once before in the Breeders' Cup last November, and 86 Derby winner Ferdinand won by a nose. This race is 1 1/4 miles, and Ali Shiva is a 7-5 favorite going into this 51st running of the Santa Anita Handicap. Incidentally, just as in the 86 Kentucky Derby, Bill Shoemaker will be aboard Ferdinand. Up next, a new era for the silver and black, plus the rest of the week. We'll be right back.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do, caring for what's special to you.
I'm a Prudential representative, and what's really important to me when I go into someone's home is to help them save money on their homeowner's insurance, because I know I'm a homeowner too.
Taking care to protect what's important to you. The Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
Every morning it's really cooking breakfast and Mickey's D's.
It's cooking, it's really cooking.
Hot biscuits with your favorite things, fresh as they wanna be.
McDonald's is cooking, it's really cooking.
Melting, cracking, sizzling and snapping. 5 great ways to get you moving. Walking, driving, now you're grooving. It's a good time for the great days.
This place is really cooking.
March Madness begins. First, the Rising Atlantic 10 crowns its conference champion. Then it's a Big Ten matchup between Purdue and Ohio State, where they still earn the title the old-fashioned way. Wednesday, live on the ESPN.
This week, Florida State University remembers one of its own, a hurricane that long ago lost its fury, and the Raiders hoping they have found the man to restore the glory of the silver and black. The week began with the long-awaited announcement of a new NFL coach. Al Davis went outside the organization for a man to lead the silver and black. Bronco offensive coordinator Mike Shanahan was announced as the new Raider coach at a press conference in Los Angeles Monday.
I'm not really sure how he made his decision, but I think what you have to do is you got to be yourself, because if you're not and you do get the job, I don't think it's a great situation.
At 35, Shanahan is the youngest coach in the NFL. There was some speculation that Davis would go with the black coach, but he says he went with the best candidate. In New York City on Monday, it was a celebration of sorts for former middleweight contender Hurricane Carter. He met supporters for the first time after being freed from 22 years in prison. Again, he said he was never guilty of the 1966 killings of 3 people in a New Jersey barroom, but he expressed no bitterness. In Alabama on Tuesday, former sports agent Jim Abernathy was found guilty of a misdemeanor charge by an Opelika, Alabama jury. He was fined $2,000 and sentenced to a year in jail. Abernathy was convicted of tampering with a sports event. He said he would appeal. Back on the field, Rookie of the Year Mark McGwire signed a 1-year contract for $260,000 Wednesday with the Oakland Athletics. McGwire played for the Major League minimum, $62,500 last year, but after setting a rookie record of 49 home runs, the Athletics saw fit to kick in a few more bucks. Former Kansas City Royal manager Dick Howser has a permanent place named in his honor. Dick Howser Stadium on the campus of Florida State University was dedicated on Thursday in Tallahassee, a place where he became All-American in 1957 and a place where he coached in 1979 before heading over to the majors with the New York Yankees. It was a special moment for everybody who knew Howser.
Considered it an honor to be here and to be part of the presentation before the game. I just wish Dick was here to see it. He was a great man and a good manager.
And finally yesterday, the Mushers left Anchorage, Alaska in the annual Iditarod Trail sled dog race. 2-time defending champion Susan Butcher will attempt to repeat her performance last year and win the first place prize of $50,000. Now, one activity this week raised a lot of eyebrows because of its inactivity. The Baseball Hall of Fame Veterans Committee met in Tampa to consider 29 names for possible induction, among them Leo DeRocher and Phil Rizzuto. But no one, not one, received the 75% support to gain induction. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. We'll have a top 10 list. This features the best amateurs in the nation.
The #1 fitness exercise in the world is cross-country skiing. And now it can be duplicated in your home with Easy Glider. Just 20 minutes every other day. An hour a week is all it takes to strengthen and firm